Hey, what's going on, man? Hola amigo, ¿cómo estás? Guten Tag, wie geht's dir? Welcome to another WoT Tanks video. In this one, I want to talk to you about the stock T18 tank destroyer. First, the way we're going to do this is I'm going to show you what modules you start out with on the tank. Then we're going to go into a gameplay, and in the gameplay, I'm going to talk to you about just basically the strengths, the weaknesses of the tank, and how to play it. Okay? So with that, let's get to it. Now, the T18 is a Tier 2 tank destroyer. It's an American TD. It's basically you play the T1, you get enough XP from that, and you can unlock T57, the M2 Light, T18, or the T2 Medium. This is the only tank destroyer that you can unlock. From here, you can go right down the line. You get your Jackson, your Wolverine. I don't think the Hellcat's on this line. Yep, the Hellcat right there. All the way down the line, the T30, T95, those kind of tanks. Let's get out of that. When this thing comes stock, you have this gun right here. This is the, I guess, rank 2 gun. It's a 37mm anti-tank gun. The rate of fire is 28 rounds, 28.57 rounds a minute. This thing fires fast. Fires about once every 2 to 3 seconds. Average penetration, 56 millimeters of penetration, 40 damage per hit. Aiming time takes a little while to aim it though, at 1.5 seconds. Dispersion is not too bad, I guess. 0.4, but this is also, all this stuff is assuming that you have a fully upgraded or fully 100% crew, 100% crew skill. Jeez, sorry about that. And when you first start out, you're not going to have 100%. You're probably going to have 50% the whole way through, or if you are kind of a player that's been around for a while, you can spend the 20,000 gold on each guy to get him up to 85 or 75%. Now, the way that you can go about doing that is you go to training and you click on current vehicle. It'll give you these options. Or if you're just buying a tank new, you can do their rapid courses. That's for free. You don't pay anything for it. If you pay 20,000 credits per individual, so 20, 40, 60, 80,000 total credits, you can upgrade them to 75%. Or if you have gold, this is basically for only the advanced players that have been playing a long time, they bought their own gold and so on and so forth. You can get them to 100% crew right away. Now, would I recommend that? No, but I'm not. This isn't really so much about recommendations at this point. I will do probably a full review guide where I'll talk about my recommendations for the tank. But at this point, just suffice to say, don't worry about it. You're not going to be playing this tank very long. Don't spend the XP or anything, or not the XP, but don't spend the gold or the credits on it. I did, but that's for a different reason. Now, there is no different turret. This is a fixed turret tank destroyer. There's just the case itself, as you can see. Unlike, say, here, I'll show you. Unlike the Panther, you can see the Panther has a turret. This thing will go 360 degrees, so the gun can be here at one moment. You can take it, go all the way around to the back. You can be facing the back end at 180 degrees, and you can come all the way back up to the front. That's a turret, and you can upgrade those turrets like you can on the Panther. T18 tank destroyers, you don't do that. The gun is just, it is the way it is. The engine, there's 3 different engines. You'll start off with this one. You got 245 horsepower, 12% chance of fire. That's not bad. If you look at basically any of the German engines, each one of them's got about 20% chance of fire on impact. So that, 12% is not bad. And you're just small tank right here. You are weighing in at 13.21 tons, so you really don't have to worry about needing the big, huge 800 horsepower engines or anything like that, because you're just a small little machine. You're a little baby tank. And the tracks that you'll get, there's 2 different options for tracks. The first tracks you'll have don't really, these numbers don't really make a whole lot of difference to you when you're first starting out, but you have 28 traverse speed, so you're not going to turn very, very quickly, and you'll probably end up needing to upgrade the tracks before you can get the better gun on it. Your radio is just a basic radio, 265 meters. That's basically 2 boxes and a half of another box on the map itself. Now, as far as overall stats goes, you got 125 hit points. So look at it this way. Your gun is doing 40 damage. Right there, that number, 40 damage. You've got 125. So that's roughly what, 3 hits? 3-4 hits, and you're dead from your gun. So you can imagine you're going to die pretty quickly. Your weight, you don't really need to worry about that. Engine horsepower, don't need to worry about it. It's decent. Max speed, 48 kilometers per hour. You will get that. You will go that fast, especially if you're going downhill. Otherwise, if you're going on regular flat terrain, you'll get around 20, 25, 30. This tank moves. It's a good tank. It's never been. I've played it. Obviously, as you can see here, I got these guys upgraded now. I've played it stock, and I've played it upgraded and with the better guns and all that kind of jazz, and this tank moves. It doesn't have a problem going in a straight line. Turning though, traverse speed and everything, is going to really bog your tank down. This thing is a horrible turner. Okay, that's a major weakness for it. Hull armor is 51, and again, just for comparison's sake, the average penetration of this thing itself is 56 millimeters. So if you're going against other T18s, you're going to get penetrated. If you're going against other tier 1s, you're probably going to end up bouncing. Let's take the T1 Cunningham out, and I'll show you the guns for this. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. I want to left click that. Average, what's the word I'm looking for? Average penetration is 39. That's the greatest penetration on a tier 1 Cunningham, T1 Cunningham. So you're going against T1s, you're probably going to end up bouncing, unless they get along your side armor. At the sides are at 32, so you will get penetrated there. Rear, obviously, right here, you're at, 25. You're going to get penetrated back here. You'll get penetrated here. You'll bounce up in the front. Especially because you got a nice little sloping here, a little angling, so it'll bounce a little bit. Here on the sides, you probably will bounce as well, but you're going to have a better chance of bouncing here. You get shot down here, you're probably going to get penetrated here too. That armor is a little bit weaker. And finally, the other important statistics, again, rate of fire is really fast. This gun fires really well. The view range, you got a weak view range, weak signal range, but you can increase the signal range depending on getting the better radio. So that's essentially it, this tank in the nutshell. So overall, the strengths of this tank, really fast gun, decent penetration, is pretty accurate. I won't say it's overly accurate, especially when you have to take into consideration that you have a weaker crew skills. If your crew's at 100%, you're going to have a pretty darn good gun. At 50%, you're going to be shooting, you won't be able to hit the broadside of a barn depending on how far out you are. So, there's give and take with the gun. You will be able to penetrate some other T18s, for example, at distance. And the reload rate, great reload rate. Speed, a straight line, this thing cruises, but when you try to turn, not so much. So with that, I'm going to get into a game. I'll see you in there in just a second. Okay, so here's the game I wanted to show you. This is probably I'd say my best game in the T18 as it's stock. I played quite a few in it, and I'd say that this is probably one of my best ones. You're going to be an average run-of-the-mill player in it. You're not going to get a whole bunch of kills with this thing stock, but once you do get this thing fully upgraded, you will dominate the charts. See, this tank, this is the tank when you've been playing this game for a long time and you want to beat up on the new players, you get a T18 and you get this thing unlocked. You unlock the big guns for it. You get a good crew skill, or 100% crew, maybe, I don't know, buy some modules for it, whatever. And this is the tank that you use to go beat up on the little kids. Anyway, the first thing that I want to show you, or I want to mention here, is we are playing on Province. And on Province, there's this big open area in the middle, and like a gully. And they have basically a shelf on the one side, or a ridge on one side, and a ridge on the other. With this tank being as good as it is from a distance, you want to stay back. You don't want to get into this gully. Hang back with this thing. You can't get up there and imagine that you're going to just Rambo everybody and somehow come out on top. Especially considering that this is a kind of a bigger target compared to some of the other tanks with that side. Whoops, wrong button. With that side right there, like that. And you don't have very good side armor, especially in the rear armor either. So stay back. Try to stay at one position. I'm moving around a little bit more than I should be right here. You can see from the dispersion of the gun to fully aimed, how long it takes. Dispersion is how big the reticle, this green center is, to when it gets as tight as it gets for its accuracy. Takes a little bit, and that's also a combination of the gun being a decently accurate gun and let's see, am I? Yeah, I am. And the crew skills not being 100%. Now here you can see the gun, how fast this thing shoots. And you can see that's decently accurate for a tier 2 tank. The other thing you see that I'm doing here is I'm moving where my shots are going. I shoot, doesn't go through, I try shooting at a different angle. Find something where I can penetrate that other tank and try to get a kill. So stay far away, you know, don't move so much because then it's going to throw your dispersion of that gun all the way all over the place. Kind of stay in one spot. If you watch my tier 1 or the T1 Cunningham tutorial, that's also kind of the same thing along these lines. Is you want to stay in one spot, you want to let that gun get as accurate as possible before you fire a shot. And then you want to, even though this gun fires very quickly, that doesn't necessarily mean you got to pull the trigger each time it's reloaded. As soon as it's reloaded, let that gun get accurate. You know, let that dispersion of that reticle come all the way down as tight as it can, then shoot, let it reload, come all the way down again, then shoot, so on and so forth. Sometimes you may have to force a shot, shoot quickly or whatever, but that's the exception to the rule of letting yourself get accurate, I guess, for lack of a better term. The other thing about staying farther away is with a tank destroyer, and this is a good example right here. With a tank destroyer, you have basically an arc. As I was explaining to you earlier, this thing is not going to go 360. You can't get this gun to come out the back end. It just isn't going to happen. You're stuck between these two parts of the case itself. Another way you can look at it is right here in the lower left-hand corner. You see where these orange lines are? That means that this gun that's like the farthest that gun can go. Now you can see that the closer to the tank itself, the closer those orange lines are. The farther away, the farther out you go, the bigger those orange lines are. Think of it like a V, like the English V. You come out with two very far ends, come down into a point in the middle like a triangle, and you go out again. You want to stay farther away because it allows you to have more sway with your gun. You can move from target to target at greater distances without having to move your tank. When you are so far out to the side, and you'll see when I move this thing, I move my cursor. When you're so far, you know, too far to the right or too far to the left, the tank itself has to move so that the gun can get on target. What that does is it makes your bloom go out, it increases your dispersion. You gotta wait again for the dispersion to come in and be accurate again. That's another benefit to waiting or staying at a far distance. The other thing you can see here really quickly is the depression. The gun depression is not very good on this thing. That's level for it right there. So it's hard to see the gun in this view. Maybe I'll be able to show you in a little bit better. But depression is basically how far down the gun can go. Elevation is how far up the gun can go. And see, this is what I mean. If you're getting shot at by another T18 and he doesn't have the big upgraded gun, you probably will bounce him, especially at a distance. But if he's got the big howitzer on there, you're gonna get penetrated. This tank will be good and accurate, or good and protected at a distance. But once you get a little bit better gun or get a little bit closer, you'll be penetrated, especially on the sides. It don't really matter where you are. If you get hit on the sides, you're gonna get damaged. The other thing you can see here is that I have the tank basically on the parking brake, is I can move that cursor from side to side and it doesn't move the tank. You see that? See how it's not moving the tank at all? My arrow itself, this arrow itself is farther than the gun will allow, but the tank isn't moving. If you don't have that parking brake on, which is the X key, it will move the tank, which causes the bloom to expand again. And now what I'm doing is I look in the side to side to see if I see any trees falling down, trying to figure out where those shots are landing. Are they shooting at me? Have I been spotted? Or are they just firing random shots hoping to hit somebody? And based on what I just saw, I judged them as judge the enemy as just shooting random shots, trying to hit somebody, hoping to hit them.
Penetration. Enemy is hit.
You can see this thing fires pretty quickly. And unfortunately, it's just a little bit too slow on that medium tank there, the T2 medium, to get a third shot into him. But we did get 2 into him, and it averaged about 50 damage each time. Which is essentially all you need to do, you know. This is this tank itself only has 125 HP. And you can see there's a ton of T18s on this game. There's a little inaccuracy for you right there. That was accurate. Accurate but bounce. And you can see I'm hitting the front of the tank. That's why I'm bouncing. Remember, this thing's got 56, I think, 56 millimeters armor in the front. And just to show you something, look how many T18s were in this game. I got 1, 2, 3 on the enemy team, 5 on the enemy team, plus 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 on our team. That's 11. 11 out of the 30 possible tanks are T18s. So this is a very popular tank. And some of these dudes, this guy right here, oh wait, wrong guy. This guy, that's one. The one that just got killed, the one I just killed right there. He was in a clan. So, you know, he's been in the game a while, he knows what to do. He's obviously joined a clan. He's a better player playing the T18. And the reason why I like to play it is because this thing is a good tank, and you can beat up on the little kids with this thing. You can be the playground bully in a T18. So at this point, you know, we've been going back and forth, trading enemy tanks for our tanks. Not really a huge advantage. We're up 2 tanks technically, but we'll see how that works out in a little bit. Just your standard game. Now, the other thing you gotta remember is this is because these open maps like this with the gully in the center and 2 ridges tend to be a little bit more campy, slower paced gameplay. This is one of those maps that's like that. El Haluf is another map. I don't know if you play it at the lower tiers, but you probably play it at the higher tiers. That's another one where the gameplay is a lot slower. People are a little bit more afraid to move and everything like that. And now what I'm doing here is I'm watching that T1, trying to see if and when he gets shot. Because he's pushed up far enough that he'll spot somebody. And here I get spotted. I know I've been spotted because that guy went off at 50, within 50 meters of another enemy tank. You will be spotted no matter what. So I know I've been spotted. I move to get behind cover as quickly as possible. Let the enemy shoot at me and let my guy shoot him. That guy, that wasn't about me there. I was not going to get to kill on that T1. Nor was I going to even try to. That was all about letting my team get that kill, get him off the radar so I can move out again. Waited 5 seconds and now I'm back out.
Enemy is hit.
This Cruiser 3 is a good player and a good spot too. He's got 4 kills so far. He knows what he's doing. That guy knows what he's doing. He's not somebody who just got the game and just started playing. He's kind of in a good choke point there, and he's working our team. Excuse me. And see, I'm trying to figure out, where are they shooting? Why are they shooting? See, there he's been spotted again. And what do you think's going to happen here? What do you think is going to happen here? We got a Cruiser 3, which is a scout tank. Tier 2 scout tank. It's going to be a faster tank. It's going to have 360. It's going to have a regular turret on it, so it's going to have 360-degree gun traverse. So he can be able to shoot behind him, shoot in front of him, shoot on the sides. What do we have going against him? 2 T18s. How do you think that's going to turn out? This is a tank destroyer, and they're coming up close against a... let me zoom in here. Coming up close against a scout tank. In a city, nonetheless. So he puts down one of them. What's he going to do to this other guy? Kind of jockeying back and forth. I take a shot at him, go right over his noggin. Get a hit on him there. He gets that guy too. That's why I said he's a good player, and he knows what he was doing. And those T18s did not need to be in that city. They should not have been, but we're towards the end of the game. That's all that they had left. So at this part, I'm thinking, what do I do? Do I just go forward? Do I stay back? And I say, screw it. I'm going to go down there and see what I can stick my nose into too. Now here's a quick tip for you. If you're going down hills like this, you can see there's a trail, but I'm not much for taking trails. You can go down these steep embankments, but go down perpendicularly to it. See how I'm going straight down? And I'm also pressing back. I'm trying to drive backwards a little bit when I'm going down these to try to slow my tank down so I don't go too fast, get too much air, and the next thing you know, I'm blowing a track or something. So you can see I'm slowing down, trying to keep my speed down. T1 shooting at me. I bounced a few shots. Now at this point, I'm trying to get underneath his gun, so I'm trying to go as fast as possible. Reaching around 26 kilometers per hour. That's decent. 30, getting a little bit up there, depending if I'm going up or downhill. And you're going to see why this guy dies in just a second. So he starts pulling forward. What do? He starts pulling forward. I back up. This guy's going to have speed on me. He's going to get around my side. He's going to be able to penetrate. Remember, we were talking about the T1 earlier in the garage. He's going to be able to penetrate this side. Definitely going to be able to penetrate the rear. But he stops. I'm backing up because I don't want him to get out. I don't want to get outflanked. But he stops. As soon as he stops, it's game over. He puts a couple rounds in me. He bounces. I get up close and personal, take him out. If he would have kept going, he would have had me. Unless I pull out some kind of crazy shot or something unexpected happens, but 9 times out of 10, he keeps going, he gets around me, I'm done. That's why you can't stick these kind of T18s and other tank destroyers. You can't stick their nose out in cities. And you can tell that this guy's a new player because first, his gun wasn't even pointed at me. Second, how long it took for him to react to my shooting at him. And this is a good example. You need to be aware of your surroundings. See right there? Tree comes down. I know he's there. He's speeding up, so I'm trying to back up so he can't get around me. Take a shot. I bounce. Take one more. Penetrate, but he's got me. And that's it. Final shot there. I got 46 HP. Took him down to 10%. This is the same Cruiser 3 that was up there. Remember how I took that first shot on him? I just went right over his dome. If I would have hit him there, he'd have been dead here. Took that first shot over here, bounced off of him. Got him with the second one, but it was too late. He got me with 2. That's all was needed. So I ended up finishing this one with 3 kills. Let's take a look at the statistics for it. I got the 3 end plates. We'll take a look. We'll see how I did in detail. So hold on one second. All right, so here's the first slide. Got a draw because I guess the one guy on my team was a bot, wasn't an actual human being playing the game. So we just got a draw. Apparently the other guy didn't want to go out and try to find him either. However, I did get a mastery badge, second class. Now, stop and think about that for a second. This is a stock tank. Stock tank, stock gun, stock everything. I got a mastery badge, second class. That means that I think it's 80%, means that I just scored 80% more points, or basically did 80% more damage than every other player this week. I believe it's weekly that's played the T18. And this thing is stock. That's pretty darn good. I also got the Confederate badge there too, and the sharpshooter as well. Sharpshooter means that it's basically that I'm accurate and I was hitting my shots, and Confederate means that I was bouncing some shots too. You can see here on the right side all the different guys that I shot at and hit and everything like that. So let's move on to the second plate. Okay, so here's the second one. You can see I led the team in damage with 571, basically 200 more damage than the next top guy. Look at, what are the top three tanks? T18, T18, T18 on our team. We all got 3 kills too. Didn't notice that. Second place guy got a little more experience than I did. As far as the other team, Cruiser 3, look, he's in a clan. You know, he knew what he was doing. He's been a player for probably quite a long time. He did an excellent job and basically got 300 more experience than I did at 856 compared to my 571. And second and third there, look at 2 T18s. Again, I got this with a stock tank, so not too bad. Let's move on to the third slide. Okay, so 45 shots fired. I fired a lot of rounds there, and that's again the gun. Use the gun to your advantage. This thing will shoot often. Do that. You know, shoot as much as you can, but be accurate. 25 direct hits, 17 penetration. So I basically penetrated more often than not, and did quite a bit of damage there. Again, 571 damage. Hits received. Now this is interesting. I took 20 hits. Only 5 of them penetrated. 15 non-penetrating hits. That's probably from that T1 Cunningham I shot at towards the end of the game there. He put a couple rounds, I guess, bursts into me of 3. I think it's 3 rounds each. But you will bounce shots with this thing. You will bounce them. Damage blocked by armor 240. So I took 125, I think it is. Yeah, 125 damage. And as far as credits goes, basically 7,000 credits earned. I don't know what the courageous resistance thing is. I've never seen that before. Total credits earned 8,249. To repair this thing from completely destroyed up to 100% health, which isn't very much. 700 credits. 810. Total credits to resupply the ammo. That's for 45 rounds. That's not bad at all. For a net profit of 6,739 credits earned. So that was pretty good, you know. For a stock tank, that's the things you need to keep in consideration when you play this thing. I would suggest keeping this tank, and if you got it now and you're thinking, should I keep it or try to get the upgraded stuff for it, or should I just get rid of it? Keep it, get the upgraded stuff. You're gonna have fun with it. I've got a good gameplay coming up for you where I have the thing fully upgraded. I'm gonna show that to you in a little while, maybe in a few days. Just got to record it. But it's a fun tank. It's a fun tank. There's some different strengths and weaknesses to it when you start playing at stock, but hopefully I cover that in this video for you. If you got any questions, please feel free to let me know. Ask them down in the comments. Sometimes I might not answer, and someone else might answer your question for me. We have a very knowledgeable community here, so be sure to ask any questions you have. And also, please like, comment, favorite, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. If you like the video, please, again, like it, because it helps other people who are searching about the T18 learn a little, see the video, see that it's quality stuff, give it a watch, maybe pick up some stuff about the tank too. So with that, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye.